Yo, what's up everybody? And I know this is probably a shocker, a marksmanship hunter guide on my channel, but as you can see, we got it up to 2700 CR, about 2950 MMR. It's just so fun, so impactful, so rewarding to play. I had to push it, and I believe that I got enough confidence and experience on it to pass that information along to you guys. So here comes a marksmanship hunter guide. It's insane. It's just insanely good and super fun to play, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. So let's dive right into talents here. Of course, we've got the class fantasy talent build names. We've got the Dark Magician, little Yu-Gi-Oh thing there for Dark Ranger. Let's pull that one up first because that's what I'm going to go over first. And then we got Sentinel as well, which is an AoE focused build for those situations. So Dark Ranger is the one single target focused that I use for BG Blitz pretty much primarily, although I've played both builds. This is nuts. It is an FC destroyer, an orb carrier destroyer. It instantly makes an impact in 2v2s or 1v1s at a base, or 2v2s on an off card, or 3v3s on an off card. It can kill anybody from anywhere on the map because of the insane range and instant damage. It's crazy. And this is what I've played for most of my ascension up to 2900 MMR. So I believe that this will work super well for you. So of course you got the Dark Ranger talent tree, and this is Black Arrow, which you want to press on cooldown, which just does damage and it gives you extra buffs based on its procs. And also it can reset a lot in BGs because people are dying more often than they do in an arena. When somebody dies, the game can be over. In BGs, it's just getting started, right? So you're gonna have Black Arrow up a lot, so just make sure you're pressing it pretty much on cooldown. Very short cooldown, and it has all these extra effects, like you're getting the Death Blow effect, which is down here in this line, which gives you a proc kill shot, which does a ton of extra damage from razor fragments, 75% additional damage, and also has crit damage modifiers, which we'll talk about soon. But this entire tree is just around extra shadow damage here from Darkness Calls. You've got proc wall, which is nerfed in PvP, but still better. Exil gives you proc wall gives you proc exil, or rather wall charges give you proc exil. And then you have Grave Reaper, which is what you get the extra black arrows from, because again, people die all the time in BG Blitz. If not, you can just run Dark Empowerment, which is just focus gen, but people die all the time in BG Blitz, which gives you way more black arrow usage, which gives you yet another, every time this resets the cooldown, you're getting another Death Blow proc, giving you an instant cast kill shot that does insane damage. So Dark Ranger, super fun. Now let's look at the actual build. We have effectively what I chose is the most single target value you can possibly get. I even dropped things like multi-shot and trick shots and bulletstorm and light ammo, though you can actually grab those, and I'll just show you real quick what that even looks like. You could just do something like this. So you can play this build and get the trick shots combo if you're used to it, but you don't have to, and you can just get all of these single target mods. Now, a lot of people will use this stuff like Rapid Fire Streamline. You've got Rapid Fire shooting additional shots. You've got Death Blow, which is that thing that you have to run because this is from your Dark Ranger. It gives you a kill shot proc, which does a ton of damage, and it's even buffed by razor fragments, and then your crit damage is buffed by killer accuracy. You have the auto attack, gives you aim shot procs, which is huge because then it makes an instant cast, and the aim shot is actually a long cast. You got the Master Marksman crit damage. Remember that soon because we have a lot of crit mods. We have crit damage here, and crit proc here, and then even more crit damage from True Shot. So I actually do this thing where I grab the crit from tier set and a few other crit pieces and some other ways of getting crit. And I actually have like a haste mastery verse crit where I have like a little bit of every stat because of all the crit mods and crit damage mods in the tree. And it makes my rapid fire into Black Arrow into Death Blow proc kill shot buffed further by this crit damage mod. This crazy one shot that will destroy FCs, like I said, destroy orb carriers, all. You can make impact from anywhere on the map anytime. Man, it's so fun. So of course you still have Serpent Sting from aim shot, and then you can spread them with Hydra's Bite, and then you have Bullseye, which is a talent that not a lot of people are going to pick, but that's because it's very low value in arena. But in BG Blitz, people are low health more often, and there's multiple people low health, and if you hit any of them, you start stacking this up, which, and I've checked the uptime on this, it's actually pretty high. You can start getting stacks of this, and just 10% crit is 10% crit, man. I mean, that with all of your crit damage mods is really going to stack up in a big way. And then you get the entire multi-shot effect from pressing volley. So anytime you need to cleave, you still can by just volleying anywhere And as long as it's active, you get trick shots on every ability. That's your full rapid fire channel and an aim shot proc if you have one. Then you have this entire True Shot package. Like I said, True Shot is a huge button that reduces the focus cost of your abilities, and then you can get the cooldown up faster, and it makes your aim shot way faster, your rapid fire way better, and gives you cooldown reduction here and cooldown reduction here, and it gives you focus as well, so you can always have full focus when you're doing the burst. And then you have this crit chance and crit damage stacking, so even more crit related things. Then you have the Wailing Arrow package, which is wind arrows that shoot off for extra damage, and then they turn your aim shot into a Wailing Arrow, which gives you an extra burst of damage. The shadow damage that's buffed from Dark Ranger, and it's AoE hit. Then it also generates from readiness rapid fire charge, which is insanely valuable, or rapid fire reset cooldown, which is insanely valuable because it's your highest damaging ability, and then 2 charges of aim shot, so you can go back to firing off your burst rotation. So that is just an engine, a self-fulfilling engine, where it generates more wind arrows because you reset the cooldown, and then that gives you more Wailing Arrow, which gives you the reset cooldown in the first place, and blah, 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 right? So there's your entire engine here of pure single target destruction. And if you ever do need an AoE go, you can either switch back to multi-shots by doing this, or you can just rely on volley like I do and just press volley down and then get a cleave, and I'll show you that on the training dummy in a second. Super fun, super easy, you'll love it. So that's Dark Ranger. Then we have Explosive Munitions, which is the exact same talent tree, except instead of some of these silly things like extra rapid fire cooldown, which is really good because rapid fire is your most insane button, and the bullseye thing, which you, like I said, it's not super important. You instead grab the entire multi-shots package, and then you go down to salvo. And salvo means volley or multi-shot can give you an explosive shot on 2 people that you hit, which is this big AoE burst. There are some multi-shot mods in Sentinel. Right here, multi-shot discharges energy for more damage, and then everything is AoE about Sentinel. It just has a lot of extra proc damage from the Sentinel effect itself and Lunar Storm. So you have these multi-shot tricks, as well as True Shot giving all abilities Sentinel, so you can AoE Sentinel everybody, and it's just a ton of proc damage, so it's going to be a huge chunk of your damage. And then you add that to the Salvo package. You put down Salvo, you activate it, then you multi-shot or volley, and then you apply another 2 explosive shot, which is buffed from Small Game Hunter. And then also when you multi-shot or volley, you get the Trick Shots effects, which gives you extra damage from it from Bullet Storm, and it's just cleave centric. So all of that is to say, if you want the Dark Ranger, that's single target, frequent goes from Black Arrow, reset cooldown, Black Arrow again, death bow procs over and over. You just keep getting Black Arrow into kill shot, into rapid fire over and over and over. You've got this engine of single target damage, or you can just have this Sentinel pad. So when would you use each? Sentinel in a big AoE team fight, when you're just plastering people on a point, EOT's midpoint, or Mage Tower, or just at a Gilneas team fight, and then Dark Ranger when you are single targeting, which is almost pretty much every other map, or 3s, right? So there you go, Sentinel and Dark Ranger. We'll go back over to Dark Magician build, and we'll talk a little bit about the crit stuff. So you can see I go into the crit modifiers here on the right side and on the left. We've got crit chance by 4% and crit from all sources. And then I use, we'll talk about this in gearing, but I use the crit tier set and a few other crit sources to get this combination of all 4 stats that makes my damage just feel overwhelming. But everything else is exactly the same as everybody else uses. We got Exil, we got Kill Shot, we got Kill Shot crit damage. Hey, what did I talk about? Crit damage, even more crit damage. That's why you want this crit package that I'll talk about in the gearing section. Trank Shot is your Purge, Concussive Shot is your Slow, another Tar Trap, which is the Slow. You have Wall with 2 charges for huge survivability buff that came in War Within, and even more reduced cooldown here. Intim is your stun. Binding Shot is an AoE stun. Explosive Shot is just a nice source of AoE damage. I already talked about the crit mod, extra explosive shot damage, and you can see how that would be really good when paired with Salvo from the Sentinel tree. Camo is a way to actually stealth, which is really good in BG Blitz because stealth is key. Extra Binding Shot duration, as well as a reduced cooldown, so you can AoE stun more often. Reduced cooldown on your pets. Damage over time effects is not only Serpent Sting, but also Black Arrow. Reducing cooldown on all your major abilities. We got Roar of Sack for a huge damage reduction. against classes that crit a lot, like Frosty K and Fire Mage, but pretty much everything relies on some crits now and then. So Arms Warrior, Fury, all that stuff. Sorry, my neck hurts. Scatter Trap, that's just a key tool. Scatter is a fantastic cross CC or scatter trap, right? So of course you want scatter. And then Feign Death, Emergency Self, giving you another answer as far as survivability goes. And then just an aim shot buff. So yeah, just pretty much standard stuff except for the crit chance stuff. But now we're going to take a look at the gearing, and you're going to see how I get that extra crit mods. Well, let's do PvP talents before I move on. They're pretty much locked in for me in BG Blitz. We've got, in an arena, I would run these as well, but you can switch things up, and I'll show that in a second. We got True Shot Mastery, because True Shot is so insanely good for your output. Feign Death for the 90% wall. And Chimera String is really nice as a jack of all trades option, because it can be a super slow or a silence to DPS or a silence to healer, and then reduced damage and healing is just a nice kind of like pseudo wall for you and your team. If somebody's cranking damage, they get all three of these effects, by the way. So it's like you peel them, and then you stop their dam, and then you silence them if they're like a lock or a caster. Shadow Priest, that's really good. But you can also run, I've seen this actually, you actually have a single target stun. I don't see that very often, but Diamond Ice is the big PvP option, where you would switch out maybe True Shot Mastery or even Chimera String if you already have a blanket silence, and get Diamond Ice, of course, which makes it undispellable. So you can trap somebody, and it can't break. Cannot break. It's like a cyclone, effectively. You turn your trap into a cyclone instant cast. You can stun trap somebody, and then it's just completely uninteractable. You can't MD it. You can't MD it. You cannot dispel it regularly, and you cannot interact with it. You cannot break it. Your DK on your team can't break it. So Diamond Ice, really good option there. I run these three in BG Blitz because I'm all about the dam, and so far it's worked super well for me. Okay, now we can look at gearing. So what did I talk about here? We talked about the 4 set. So look at this. Crit Haste. First Mastery, that's not a 4 set. First Mastery. Haste Mastery. Crit first. So you can see I have crit, Mastery, Haste Mastery, right? So I have all 4 stats on my tier set, which is great because I need all 4 stats to get use out of these crit mods, but also because Haste is insanely good for your speeding up your rotation. Mastery is just all your damage, and also range, which is crazy for BG Blitz. And versatility is versatility. It's a versatile stat. It literally says it right in the name. So you get every stat that you need from your 4 set, and your 4 set's not bad. Just more aim shot damage. So you kind of get it for free. You get your 4 set for free because you need all those stats anyway. Then furthermore, I have this one silly trick. Because in BG Blitz, you can be like opening from far away. You have huge range, or you can open from camo. You can sneak up to a node. You can sneak up to a team fight. You can stay out of the range of all the cleave. You stay at over 80% health a lot. Plus, you also have Feign Death, Double Wall, Exhilaration. You stay at above 80% health a lot. And I just went with Woven Dawn Thread instead of the proc damage embellishment, which gives me more crit all the time, right? So I have enough haste to get my abilities off during True Shot, although my haste is pretty low. So when I craft my next ring, it's going to be haste, and that's going to jump this up to 12%. So I'm going to get a lot of haste from my ring craft. I have all the crit that I need, so I don't need any extra crit from the Dusk Thread and from the tier set. I still have a ton of mastery in PvP, and I'll be getting even more when I go haste mastery on this, and I have plenty of verse as well, because I'm not a believer you need like 25%, 30% verse. I think output stats are king, and for BG Blitz and for Arena, maybe you have to go a little bit more verse. But all you have to do that is, instead of crafting Woven Dawn Thread with crit mastery, you would just do Dusk Thread with verse and verse mastery. So you can effectively gear yourself for Arena with this exact same gearing by switching the type of thread from Dawn Thread to Dusk Thread, and switching the missive from crit mastery to verse mastery. And if you did that on all of the pieces that I chose, belt and feet, then you would have 25% verse from all of these when it scales up in PvP. So very easy for you to just switch that up. But I went with the 4 stat situation, and you'll see the burst is absolutely nuclear. But yeah, so there's my 4 set, there's my embellishments, and yeah, pretty easy. Otherwise, you're just going to enchant all your gear once you have BIS everything. And that's the whole setup. 4 stats. If you want to play for strictly Arena and you're feeling a little too squishy, you just drop the crit for verse. and now you have an arena build. But I've never had that problem because you have double wall, exil proc wall procs exil, feign death, turtle, multiple kiting options, and you're tough to lock down. Marks is a lot more tanky than he used to be. So here is the rotation. So I'm going to show you how with this black arrow build, you can volley and then do your entire burst rotation AoE. So I'm going to black arrow with true shot macroed into it. So let's show you the macro, because I know somebody will ask. True shot, black arrow, blood fury. Racial, black arrow, offensive cooldown. And then I show tooltip black arrow so I can see every time it comes back up off cooldown. Okay. So I'm going to volley, black arrow, on this cleave set of dummy, because I want you to really see how everything cleaves, even though I don't have the trick shots from multi-shot. Rapid fire, explosive shot, aim shot, arcane, aim shot, rapid fire every time it comes back up, cooldown. You pretty much have a priority system. Every single time you have an aim shot proc, fire it off, it's instant. And every single time you have a rapid fire, press it. It's amazing. So let's take a look. Very simple. You're going to volley, black arrow, rapid fire. It's going to give me a wailing arrow instantly. I'm going to fire that off. Kill shot proc, rapid fire. Now I have aim shot, precise shots, rapid fire again. You can see everything cleaved. Aim shot, rapid fire again. Every single time rapid fire's up. Aim shot, kill shot, pop. And anytime you need to AoE, you can just throw in an explosive shot as well. The crazy thing about this is that Marksman has a ton of plus PvP mods to its ability. So while the training dummies don't take as much damage, what really takes a ton of damage is enemy players. You can see in PvP, this is going to be 1.5 mil. This is going to be 931k. Look at that. 1.5 mil, 931k. But what happens when I drop PvP combat? I'm going to show you something really crazy that you might not know. I'm going to drop PvP combat, and I'm going to wait for everything to get out of PvP. Everything needs to drop my stats back down. And once that happens, I might have to like mount or something. Yeah, see that? What did that say? 400,000. So sure, you get like 50% from your stats. That would put it up to 600k. But then it goes all the way up to 900k when you hit this. Look at this. Get in range. 931k. That's what's called a plus PvP mod. And it does not show up when you hit the dummies. It just updates your tooltip. So this build that did a pretty good chunk of damage, like it bursted at like 1.8. I think I could probably burst higher than that. I'll take a look at the dummy. I'll do it one more time for you. I'll take a look at the dummy. This build that did that is actually doing significantly more in PvP. And that's crazy. All of your abilities have like plus mods. So I'll show you real quick again the burst. We get the volley down. Pop this. Pop the rapid fire. Let's see what it bursts up to. We got a kill shot proc. We got, 2 million. This does more in PvP. Now, you're not doing more than 2 million DPS, but I mean ability for ability. They each do more when you're attacking people in rated PvP combat. Yeah, look at that. 2 million damage. Yeah, 2 million DPS. Every single one of those wailing arrows and aim shots will do more damage in a PvP environment. Crazy. And that's why you destroy flag carriers and you destroy orb carriers, and you can come into off carts and immediately make a difference from anywhere on the map because you have a 50-yard range on all your abilities. It's crazy. That's Marksman for you. Hope you have a great time this season. Push your wildest dreams. I believe in you. Peace.